A very good evening to you all and welcome to UBC News this Tuesday, the 4th day of February 2025. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcasting House here on Nile Avenue on sign language. It is Kijanangoma Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, has officiated the groundbreaking ceremony for a state-of-the-art heart hospital in Nakuru as part of government's commitment to addressing heart conditions in the country. The Premier, who was representing President Yoweri Museveni, emphasized that the facility will advance training and research in cardiovascular medicine. We have more in this story.
Officially groundbreak the construction of the Uganda artists here at Nakuru for God and
The state-of-the-art heart hospital in Nakuru will feature 3 operating theatres, 2 catheterization labs, an OPD, general wards and a 250-bed capacity. It aims to provide affordable and accessible cardiovascular treatment while reducing the need for referrals abroad.
In total, 250 beds are going to be installed here, including 40 ICU, that is intensive care bed facilities. The project objectives, first, is to provide affordable and accessible cardiovascular treatment and care for the people of Uganda. 2 is to improve on specialized teaching, training and research. 3 is to enhance early preventive and timely intervention measures against cardiovascular diseases. 4th is to provide awareness of the magnitude and management of cardiovascular disease in Uganda and in the region. Then to reduce referrals abroad and save foreign exchange reserves for other purposes.
Uganda faces an increasing prevalence of non-communicable diseases, with 1.6 babies born annually with congenital heart defects and 1 in every 4 adults living with hypertension. This rising burden prompted the government to invest in specialized cardiac care.
Statistics show that cardiovascular diseases are among the leading causes of death globally, and Uganda is no exception. It is against this background that the NRM government, together with our development partners, have prioritized the construction of a dedicated state-of-the-art home for Uganda Heart Institute. Today, we break ground for the Uganda Heart Institute.
Minister for Health Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng has reaffirmed the government's commitment to enhancing health care in Uganda.
But I also urge you to closely monitor progress to guarantee that this hospital meets international standards and serves as a center of excellence for Uganda and the region and beyond. Right Honorable Prime Minister, this project is critical. But allow me also to state here that the project that is ongoing in Uganda Cancer Institute is also critical. And Ministry of Finance has provided additional funding. This is just to say that all our centers of specialty are being very well supported by the government of Uganda.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, emphasized the need to strengthen the prevention of cardiovascular diseases.
The burden of disease is very high, and it is increasing each year. We see the incremental numbers, and therefore we need not just to focus on the buildings and the service, curative services. We need also to have a mechanism of going out and talk about prevention. Ministry of Health is focusing so much now on prevention, but we want also to focus on highly specialized services that will keep the people in the country.
The ambassador of Saudi Arabia to Uganda lauded Uganda for this achievement, saying it is a beacon of hope to patients with heart diseases.
This is not just beginning of construction project. It is the start of the new era in healthcare, one that will bring hope, healing, and life-saving treatment to countless individuals in need. Cardiovascular disease are growing world challenge, and Uganda is no exception.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Thanks, Namkose, for that story there. Now, the Chief Justice Alfonso Winyedolo has urged judicial officers to desist from corruption as they embrace innovation. He was opening the 26th Annual Judges Conference here in Kampala. At the conference, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, delivered the President's message, urging Ugandans to embrace patriotism, Pan-Africanism, social economic transformation, and democracy.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, was representing President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at the 26th Annual Judges Conference held in Kampala. The conference aims at reflecting and sharing perspectives on the role of judiciary in the social and economic transformation.
The social and economic approach to justice entails the necessary change and power to participate in the transformation of the socio-economic landscape of our country, Uganda, a goal which this conference will seek to attain. This, along with enhancing equitable access to judicial services, improving coordination and partnerships, improving public awareness and the image of the judiciary, these all fit in well with the 7 objectives of the Judiciary Strategic Development Plan.
The Chief Justice Alfonso Winyedolo asked the judicial officers to embrace the judicial principles as enshrined under Article 126 of the Constitution.
As a matter of emphasis, these cardinal principles include A, that justice shall be done to all irrespective of their social or economic status. B, justice shall not be delayed. C, adequate compensation shall be awarded to victims of wrong. D, reconciliation between parties shall be promoted. And E, substantive justice shall be administered without undue regard to technicalities.
Chief Justice Dolo also cautioned the judicial officers against corruption and impartiality.
To always serve with utmost humility and integrity and make upright decisions without fear, without favor, without malice, without affection, without any form of ill will against any person who seeks justice before you.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's speech focused on ideological principles of NRM government that aims at developing the country.
Socio-economic transformation, e.g., marine, Ndima, and other modern science-based skills. The fourth ideological principles is democracy, ruled by the people through regular elections and referendum. Given the previous 92 years of colonization and neo-colonialism in 1894 and 1986.
The president further stated that the NRM principles were initially not embraced by Ugandans, but they were embraced after a while, hence ushering in a strong UPDF.
We had a minimal base for consensus. That is how a political front we have peacefully moved forward, but with constant struggles with those who hunt for colonial and neo-colonial points. Our ideology and patriotism and Pan-Africanism enabled us to build a strong UPDF that has guaranteed peace in Uganda.
The 26th Annual Judges Conference was held under the theme, positioning Uganda's judiciary to contribute to the social and economic development Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
Now, President Museveni has summoned the National Resistance Movement Party parliamentary caucus on Friday the 7th for a meeting at State House in Entebbe. The NRM Party Director for Communications, Emmanuel Dombo, told UBC that the agenda has not yet been made public, but the meeting is expected to deliberate issues related to budget, politics and matters of national importance.
Yes, I can confirm that we have received a copy of the letter inviting the members of the NRM caucus for an NRM caucus which will take place in Entebbe, and the agenda is not specified. The agenda is not specified, and it's going to take place on 7th of this month. It has been convened by the national chairman of NRM. So he has the agenda, he has the message to communicate to members of the NRM caucus. And for us as a party, we shall be there in order to take note of the discussions and the decisions, so that if there are issues that require our implementation, we take them up. Those that require a follow-up, we do that as a secretariat. NRM Parliamentary Caucus is one of the busiest organs of the party, because right now the party is processing the budget. Right now we have a roadmap. Right now there are emerging issues, some of them which have been through the Supreme Court of Law. But also it has been a while since the caucus last sat. It also has a routine business that it conducts. So the chairman is at liberty to convene the party caucus as and when he feels there is business that must be considered by the party caucus.
Emmanuel Dombo, the NRM Party Director for Communications, ending that story there. Now, the Attorney General Shiriowa Chiwanuka has assured Parliament that the government will implement the recent Supreme Court ruling against trying civilians in military courts. Now, this follows concerns from the victorious litigant who cited delay tactics in the matter and demanded a detailed schedule for how the Supreme Court judgment will be implemented. Daniel Mugoya gives us more.
The interpretation of the recent Supreme Court ruling is seemingly as clear as mud.
All the inmates who are under the trial in the General Court Martial, all their matters are now under the jurisdiction of the courts of judicature.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, invited the Attorney General, Shiriowa Chiwanuka, in the chambers to clarify the issue.
The Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs is also advised to immediately commence consideration of the recommendations of the Supreme Court with a view to introducing appropriate amendments to the UPDF Act.
However, some MPs were not convinced, as the Attorney General was a litigant in the case.
The President quoted you, that he called you on phone, and you seem to have given him an advice that does not match with what you are telling us here.
If he was waiting for a decree, what was the basis of his advice? Number two, I am not aware, and he can now educate us, the law under which a losing or vanquished litigant would write to court to ask for which orders.
And yes, and that's why maybe I lost. But what we are saying is that if you disagree with what I have written as what the court said, the arbiter is there.
The Supreme Court exposed the illegality of the court-martial to try civilians.
Also, when we say the Attorney General has guided the House wrong, we are not making any resolution on this matter. I asked the Attorney General to give us an update. This is a matter which has been settled by court.
What the learned Attorney General seems to be saying is that now the court martial is going to be directing the DPP to say, we have these matters, you take them up. That's against the law.
This comes at a time when some civilians, including former FDC leader Kizza Besigye, are victims.
There's absolutely nothing left for discussion. There's absolutely nothing left for resolution. There's nothing left for amendment.
The controversy deepens as the government awaits clarification on which victim files are to be transferred to the courts of judicature as ordered by the Supreme Court.
It is this a matter of interpretation. And where there is a dispute as per the interpretation, it is not for Attorney General, it's for the court to settle that component. That what do you mean? Because court did not say release. If we are reading it to the dot, the court did not say release. Say immediately seize and transfer. Now, the process of transfer is a process.
The legal team representing Dr. Kizza Besigye, led by Kenyan lawyer Martha Karua, is actively pushing for a detailed schedule and the government's position on implementing the Supreme Court ruling.
Because we all know what should be done. That person should be released immediately because the court always says, unless otherwise lawfully held.
The team spent part of their afternoon at Luzira Prison interacting with prison authorities to discuss the way forward.
They recognize the fact that actually they need some paperwork, a remand warrant, to continue keeping Dr. Besigye in their custody. But unfortunately, they claim their hands are tied, that they are waiting for a directive from the Attorney General. And the Attorney General is not giving a directive whether they should continue on remand or they should be.
Despite a recent letter on social media from President Yoweri Museveni disagreeing with the Supreme Court ruling, Attorney General Chirowa Kiwanuka has assured Parliament that the government has decided to respect the ruling accordingly.
I have rendered advice. I have told you that the government has decided to comply with the court order, and we are going to comply with the court orders as have been given by the Supreme Court.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Now, effective from 1st to the 31st of March 2025, all leaders falling under the 2nd and 3rd schedules of the Leadership Code Act, Part A and Part B, will be required to declare their income, assets and liabilities to the Office of the Inspector General of Government, IGG. This was revealed by IGG Betty Kamia during a press briefing at the Media Center in Kampala.
The Leadership Code Act Cap 33 mandates specified leaders to declare their income, assets and liabilities to the IGG every 2 years in the month of March. However, public officers who are not leaders are required to submit their declarations every 5 years, with the next submission due in April 2026.
Today, we are addressing ourselves to the first category, the category of leaders that are defined under the 2nd schedule of the Leadership Code Act, who must declare their income, assets and liabilities every 2 years, and it is only in the month of March. I wish to inform you that all declarations of income, assets and liabilities are submitted digitally using the Inspectorate of Government online declaration system, in bracket IG-ODS.
The category of specified leaders falling under the 2nd and 3rd schedules, Part A and B, who will be required to declare their assets, income and liabilities this March include all political leaders such as the President, Speaker, MPs, heads of political parties, specified officers of the judiciary, ambassadors, among others.
The last declaration was in March, so this declaration period is due this March next month. So we are here to give notice to leaders who are specified under this schedule to prepare themselves. Some people are in the midst of transactions, others are in the midst of concluding transactions, selling or buying, but we are giving you a notice of 1 month so that you get your assets, income and liabilities in order to declare them.
Since 2017, the IGG's office has been receiving online declarations, and the compliance rate has progressively increased from 85% in 2017 to 90% in 2023. The persons who failed to meet this constitutional obligation in 2023 were prosecuted in the Leadership Court Tribunal. Tougher penalties such as dismissal and confiscation are expected again this time.
So there are leaders for non-declaration who have been asked to pay a fine, there are those who have been cautioned, there are those who have been demoted, and there are those even who get dismissed from office.
Inadequate staffing in the IGG's office and late submission of declarations continue to hamper the process.
In terms of capacity, we have got 16 regional offices, but you're right to talk about capacity because at the moment we are having challenges in respect to staffing and resources, and this is the reason why this period coming we are receiving declarations from 24,000 leaders. Now we do not have the ability to do verifications of all the 24,000 leaders, and this is the reason why we go ahead to train focal point persons to give us support, to get volunteers to give us support.
The IGG notes that public vigilance is crucial in identifying individuals illicitly owning properties. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu, kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanyi kuzunga na banka siripsi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Government of Uganda presents Post Buses in Uganda, operated by Posta Uganda. We specialize in professional transport, courier and vehicle hire services across Uganda. Our routes include Kampala Masaka Mbarara Kabale Chisoro, Kampala Mukono Jinja Mbale via Tirinyi Road Soroti Lira, and Kampala Luwero Kamudini Gulu Kitgum. Our main offices are located at the Post Office Head Office on Kampala Road, with booking services available at counters 23 and 24 at the General Post Office. You can also book at designated district post offices along our routes. For inquiries or bookings, please contact us on 0751 684 184. Posta Uganda. We deliver trust.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Stake 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Stake 10. Sports Stake 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, Minister for Internal Affairs General Kahinda Otafire has called on religious leaders and parents to serve as guardians for Ugandan children and citizens by instilling values and principles that will help them resist the temptations of drug and human trafficking. Minister Otafire emphasized that while these vices have existed throughout history, Uganda must develop a universal strategy to combat them. And this includes strengthening laws to severely punish those engaged in trafficking activities. Take a watch.
As of July 2024, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions reported that Uganda ranks 7th in organized crime across the continent. This reflects a growing web of criminal activity that threatens to suffocate the nation, with human trafficking, drug trafficking, and the illegal flow of weapons being major concerns. While some traffickers are fully aware of their actions, others become victims themselves, often lured into trafficking schemes through labor externalization, religious tours such as Umrah and Hajj, and other methods. Against this backdrop, various stakeholders, including the Ministry of Gender, security agencies, labor export agencies, religious leaders, and others, gathered today at the Office of the President to explore ways to combat human and drug trafficking.
As you have reliable reports from Saudi Arabia that a number of Ugandans were caught with the drugs at the airports and the entry points in Saudi Arabia. So it was necessary that we organize this meeting to sensitize all Ugandans about the danger.
Internal Affairs Minister General Kahindo Tafire, who graced the conference as the chief guest, emphasized that trafficking is never a profitable venture, urging religious leaders to use their platforms to spread awareness and discourage such crimes.
Bino si abasiramu kukusa amadagala n'okutwala abantu. Si bya abasiramu. Abasiramu nabo mwe bali naye si abasiramu bokka.
Otafire also called on parents, particularly those in the middle-income households, to play an active role in protecting their children by teaching them values and principles that will help them avoid falling victim to trafficking networks.
Abaana abakozesa ebiragalalagala ebyo si baana abaavu si bawansi kubanga omwana wa bulijjo obunaka gundi esente z'ogula ebidagala tazirina abakozesa ebiragala ebyo baffe abalina kuki naye ngamu abakulembeze b'amadiini n'abantu abakulu njagala munyambe.
State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Esther Nyakun assured that the government is doing everything necessary to ensure the safety of Ugandans in the UAE, especially those working in Saudi Arabia.
We appreciate that the government of Riyadh is giving us more jobs for the Ugandans. Over 40,000 jobs are going to come here to our children. But the most important thing is let people who are getting these jobs be licensed by government so that when these children have problems outside the country, we're able to make a trace which company took them. The government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has assured me that every Ugandan who is going to be taken through the right channel and will be ensured.
Other participants at the conference highlighted the importance of timely awareness campaigns to educate the public about the dangers of trafficking.
So with that, I really want to commend Uganda in its fight against human trafficking per se, but also by finding other ways of migrants to move from Uganda.
From a security point of view, by the time you come to realize that the country is gone, you will not even save yourself. You will have the money in your pocket, but the crime will eat up you.
This conference comes at a critical time when Uganda is facing international scrutiny due to its reputation as a source of traffickers, particularly through religious tourism and labor exports. Rebecca Nantongo, Stephen Kayumba, UBC News.
Now, the commander of the UPDF Motorized Infantry, Brigadier General Charles Byanyima, has commended the strong working relationship between the UPDF and people of Greater Luwero. He credited this collaboration for enabling NRA combatants to fight and defeat past oppressive regimes. Brigadier General Byanyima made these remarks after leading over 2,000 officers and men from the motorized infantry headquarters at Nakasongola in a cleaning exercise in Kasana, Luwero town.
The commander of the UPDF Motorized Infantry Brigadier General Charles Byanyima has emphasized that the Tarehe Sita week provides the UPDF with an opportunity to give back to the community. This is in recognition of the long-standing cooperation between the army and civilians, which has lasted for decades.
We have to look at our history. Our history. If you don't know the history of your country, you can't understand the current situation of today. And if you can't know that situation of today, that means that your future is completely useless because you are nowhere, you can't understand anything. So we go back to our roots. That is Wananchi, the way how we can continue working with them, because even us, the uniform, the salary, the whatever, it is being paid by our fathers or brothers who are not in it.
A senior medical officer at Ruwero General Hospital, Dr. Stefan Magara appreciated the UPDF for supporting the hospital with essential medical supplies, including mama kits, as well as organizing a blood donation drive.
We are happy that we are having this drive, blood donation drive at Ruwero Hospital. It's been a long time coming. Ruwero General Hospital is a very busy facility where we require a lot of blood transfusion. We have a very busy sickle cell clinic where we can have around 20 patients per week needing blood, which is not often found, and we have to actually go to Nakasero to get blood. So,
Ruwero District LC5 Chairman Erastus Chivirango urged residents to take inspiration from the UPDF and maintain cleanliness in their workplaces to the best of their ability, while awaiting further interventions from the town council authorities.
We do appreciate the spirit, because this one brings back our officers down to the people, and the people also realizing that we can work together with the UPDF.
Resident District Commissioner Richard Wabye expressed gratitude to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the UPDF for fostering a people-centered army.
It's a clear manifestation that UPDF is a people-centered army. So I want to appreciate the President for building an army that is people-centered.
Market vendors also praised the UPDF for their disciplined approach and commitment to the cleaning exercise. The cleaning exercise, which began at Ruwero Central Police Station, covered key public areas in Kasanat, Ruwero Town, including Ruwero Town Main Market, Kasanat Town Main Market, Ruwero General Hospital, Balichewunya Roadside Market, along Kampala-Gulu Highway.
Helen Barbara Jizamba reporting there. Now, still on matters related to the UPDF, the 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Wilberforce Serunkuma, police and prisons have cleaned Moroto municipality as part of activities to commemorate the 44th Tarehe Sita anniversary in Karamoja. The leaders have commended the joint security forces in Karamoja for restoring sanity in their area. We have more in this story.
Security forces in Karamoja sub-region have cleaned Moroto municipality as part of the activities to commemorate the 44th Tarehe Sita celebrations in Karamoja. The forces were led by Brigadier General Wilberforce Serunkuma, the 3rd Division Commander.
Celebrating the Pan-African sacrifice in the struggle for freedom and democracy, the socio-economic transformation. This is our theme today.
Karamoja and its neighbors are experiencing relative peace due to heightened collaboration between leaders and security.
The peace and security in Karamoja today alone demonstrates that we have pulled all our forces. It is a sign that Karamoja have attained 90% of peace. Because if we had still had insecurity in this region, then we would have not been able to pull our forces from across the region.
Security in the area basically is very okay. It's calm 100%. People are sleeping, people are moving at night. People need to appreciate so much the joint forces for the work that they've done in ensuring that peace comes back to the region.
This collective effort is a goal that we are all needed. As to team up, the good of fight a common goal.
Leaders and security forces have called for mental disarmament for total peace in Karamoja.
For security now, we are at 90%. That we don't need anything which can take us back in the situation of running up and down. Everyone is doing his part. We need our school-going children to be taken to school.
What should be done is that we, the leaders, and the people of Karamoja should take up the lead in ensuring that we maintain our peace. We are not going to have security, UPDF and joint security forces to continue. So we are going to take over this.
Relatedly, security officers have attributed the reduction of crime like cattle theft and arms smuggling due to heightened roadblocks.
We recovered over 1,800 animals, which we have recovered in our records, and we hand them over to the owners because they have their marks on their animals.
Since July 2022, 1,239 guns, 9,088 ammunitions have been collected and 1,779 warriors prosecuted. Cayenne Faith, Maureen Iga for UBC.
Now, music industry stakeholders are urging government to consider establishing music programs in government-funded music schools, especially at a time when the country is grappling with a shortage of music schools. Now, such institutions, they argue, would serve as a breeding ground for developing a well-rounded creative industry. Now, this comes as the country prepares to host the inaugural DFCU Parallel Festival 2025 this May.
Was available.
With the growing music industry, many people, especially the youth, earn from this creative and artistic sector. However, the challenge remains in professionalizing the sector to eliminate unskilled opportunists who are degrading its value.
For some reason, people think anybody can do music. So that's where the mistake has been. That when people have failed elsewhere, they say, I think music, let's go and do music. As a by the way. You know what I'm saying? So the most important thing to develop anything, not just music or art, is to actually study it, like any other calling that people have.
The entry requirements are very low. The industry attracts the educated, it attracts the less educated. Every level of skill is admissible into our industry, which is a great thing. On the issue of how do we then nurture the people that have joined the industry, skilling is such a huge challenge in the music industry, but also across the entire creative industries.
According to the National Culture Forum, the umbrella body representing all creatives, there is a need for the government to include a variety of music courses in all government-funded vocational schools to instill music ethics and keep the industry vibrant.
We can say music too can be, because music has a range of skills, it can be one of the vocational skills in the government-funded vocational schools. The few music schools that we have in the country need support so that they can expand the enrollments, they can acquire the equipment that is necessary to help develop talent.
Uganda is set to host the inaugural DFCU Jazz Festival 2025, an event that will feature jazz music legends such as Isaiah Katumwa, among others.
Today we're very excited to announce the launch of the inaugural DFCU Jazz in the Pearl Festival. It's a music festival like no other, and we're just really excited that we are doing this in our 60th year of existence. DFCU has been in Uganda for 60 years now.
This festival set for May 10th seeks to showcase to the world that music, like any other venture, should be embraced and has the potential to generate substantial income.
This is a stepping stone. It's a platform for our local artists to be put on the same platform as the international ones. So on the 10th of May, you'll be able to see Isaiah Katumwa, who hasn't performed in Uganda for a long time. He relocated to the United States. This will be his homecoming. We will have Shaka Mayandra and the Black Roots Academy of Soul performing alongside award-winning Kirk Whalum from the United States. He's a Grammy Award winner.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanyi kuzunga na banka siripsi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Over 100 sugarcane farmers, led by their chairperson, Haji Kazimbi Raine Mahmoud, stormed the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, demanding a resolution to their ongoing struggles. Now, the farmers are seeking intervention regarding the fairness of the weighing scales used for measuring their sugarcane and challenging the monopoly by the ministry. The Commissioner advised them to return with a formal proposal for future discussions. Now, the farmers, who are members of the Bunyoro Sugarcane Union, have voiced concerns about the weighing scales they claim are unfair and biased in favor of the sugar factories. They're also calling for an end to the ministry's monopoly, which they believe is limiting their growth and profitability.
The minister got concerned when he saw that there were so many people that had come, and yet he had called only the chairman. He got concerned and said, I think now it had better be handled by the commissioners. Commissioner Dennis Aineviona, who welcomed us and received us on behalf of the minister, and briefed us about the concerns of the ministry about operating weigh bridges. We have discussed widely why we started those weigh bridges, and he has agreed with us that there is a need to streamline the marketing of sugarcane. And he has tasked us to give the ministry a plan as to how we would want the ministry to run our way bridges, so that everybody concerned can be happy with our operations. We are going to work with these two councils to try and develop something out that will satisfy everybody.
Dr. Bawal Frank Chiwanuka, a researcher, has called on concerned authorities to help him obtain justice after Kampala Capital City Authority KCCA demolished his workshop without giving clear reasons. Now, the workshop, which was located near the Baha'i Temple in Kawempe Division, Kampala, was being used for recycling waste into fertilizer.
Uganda has previously experienced devastating waste-related disasters, including landslides caused by accumulated waste, which have resulted in loss of lives, injuries, and destruction of homes. In response, scientists have been working on innovative solutions to manage waste before it becomes a threat. Dr. Bawal Frank Chiwanuka is among these innovators who developed a machine that processes waste into organic fertilizer. Many people and companies had shown interest in acquiring his technology to turn their waste into useful compost. However, in an unexpected turn of events, KCCA demolished his entire workshop and destroyed his equipment.
Came claiming to have authority to knock down my workshop. They did knock down my workshop, left unattended, arrested the people who were there, meaning they left it to whom it may concern. They claim that I was building, to be exact, in the road, because I don't believe their idea of I am building without a plan. I already have a plan, which I have already asked them that I need my 10 decimals, that one Ben, Marcus, and others that are claiming. And I don't know how they are claiming. A title is clear. Ben Marcus has a title 111, plot 211. My title is plot 1377. They even went to an extent of deleting my plot 1377.
He presented documents providing that he legally acquired the land and had the right to operate there. He is appealing to authorities for intervention.
And that plot 1376 has never been paid off. It is a road, it is a title, it was taken by KCCA, but it has never been paid. But now here it is the same KCCA that is knocking down a property, and it has never paid the other plot, and they are changing the other plot to be 1376. Now, my lawyers have followed this thing, and they are at the top of this. They want to use either police or KCCA to make sure that I neither even run a workshop, which I have paid. I have a license.
Meanwhile, Ben Marcos, who has been accused of attempting to take over the land, has denied the allegations. KCCA spokesperson Daniel Nwabine has yet to provide a detailed response.
For everyone who knows me, who has followed me, ever since COVID technology, COVID innovations that we did, I am known, my research is 045/20 NRCI.
Case in Chikaya of the doctor is one of illegal development. The good doctor was developing illegally on what is assumed to be his piece of land. He has been given notices several times, he has been implored several times to follow the law, which he has not. Now the Physical Planning Act and the Building Control Act give the authority, the area administration, the mandate to put or to reinstate the place back into its original state.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, the Makerere Innovation and Incubation Center has partnered with the Germany Embassy in Uganda to incubate business ideas of young people to the feasible stage in order to attract investors. Now, solutions developed will be based on the challenges faced by the economies of Uganda, Africa, and Europe.
The Makerere Innovation and Incubation Center is a university-based technology business incubator that supports the business development ideas into business startups through structured mentorship. The young innovators are taken through the application of technology in agriculture, fintech, health, energy, education, environment, tourism, and hospitality.
The problems are huge in Europe, but also in Africa. So we need solutions, we need problem solvers, and I think we can also create problem-solving skills, interpersonal skills, working together, and ideation.
The purpose of this incubation stage is to make these ideas marketable and investor-ready. The exercise involves sharing of ideas from Africa and Europe for benchmarking.
If somebody heard it with a different mindset and was maybe thinking of other things, so again and again with staff at the embassy, with staff at the residence, you are surprised and say, sorry, I asked you to do this, why hasn't it not been done? Or did you do something completely different? And then you will realize that you were not able to communicate clearly.
We are focusing on how we can support these entrepreneurs, put in a bit of technology, creativity, innovation, so that an idea is not a traditional idea. It's an innovative idea. It's an idea that can probably come up with a product that can sell on bigger markets, that everyone else can appreciate.
These innovations are guided and linked to opportunities that unlock their full potential of actualization. However, the Ugandan innovators are challenged with limited funding, which obstructs the would-be viable ideas for Ugandan challenges.
The question is, what are our startups, what are entrepreneurs or businesses not doing to attract funding, to sell more, to get into other bigger markets that other countries are doing? We see European companies coming up here and setting up here and doing so well. So could it be a chance now, one opportunity for us Africans and particularly Ugandans to look at some of the strategies that can lead us to those bigger markets?
The three-day think tank hackathon 2025 that brings together student innovators and entrepreneurs from Europe and Uganda brings together young people from Makerere University Innovation and Incubation Center to brainstorm and design ideas towards establishing bridges between Africa and Europe through discussing real-life challenges and solutions in Germany and Uganda. Komagum Rogers and Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC.
Now, the old adage, necessity is the mother of invention, emphasizes the need that it's often the driving force behind new ideas and inventions. When Julius Mwesige, a graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Wildlife and Forestry Resource Management from Kumba University, recognized the growing danger of solid waste to communities, he saw an urgent need for action. And now, in response to that, he developed an innovative approach to recycling solid waste, especially plastic waste, into useful new products. Take a watch.
Where there is need, innovation follows. This is why Julius Mwesige, also known as Mr. Wildlife, has come out to address the growing problem of solid waste, especially in urban areas. As a conservation educator at the Uganda Wildlife Conservation Education Center in Entebbe, Julius is transforming waste into valuable products that contribute to environmental preservation.
Uganda is still having a big challenge of plastic waste management, where to the point now plastics and other kind of solid waste are killing a lot of people, like you saw the scenario that happened in Chitezi. So how can plastics or waste kill people? It means that we have really failed to manage, so it's now waste managing us.
Mwesije's passion for solid waste management dates back to his primary school days, where he organized cleanup initiatives in Entebbe to promote environmental cleanness and repurposing solid waste. This dedication to the cause has only deepened over the years.
I was the president of Wildlife Club at Air Force Secondary School from my high school, so I had to engage my fellow learners at school and started having cleanup exercises from Katabi Central Market, Katabi Trading Center, and later we started working with more schools around, from the school level now to other schools, engaging other schools. And this one helped us to clean out the forest, like Chituburi Forest Reserve, which was one of the most polluted forests.
In Entebbe municipality and its surrounding areas, plastic waste accumulation remains a significant environmental challenge, threatening both the ecosystem and aquatic life. Mwesije highlights the issue and its harmful impact on the environment.
As an individual, I have seen some animals like tortoises being squeezed with plastics. Most especially, I found some tortoises here in Katabi in the landfill of Entebbe, and I was able to pick it and I brought it here to the zoo, and that tortoise I nicknamed it Figure 8. So if you see it, it has a shape of like Figure 8 because plastic squeezed it in the middle and it was almost dying, and it grew in the plastics and that they made that kind of a shape.
At the Uwe Conservation Area, he has set up a waste management demonstration unit where he has trained over 1,000 young people in proper waste management techniques. These include transforming various types of waste from small plastic items to large car tires into new usable products.
So as I was coordinating wildlife clubs, I found it very interesting now to educate the children in making of dustbins. And students were making dustbins, then also establishing backyard gardens using tires, using plastic bottles, and students started harvesting vegetables, supplement their diet at school.
In cities like Kampala, waste management is an ongoing struggle, especially in the wake of the Kitezi landfill collapse. Mwesije advocates for practical solutions, starting with solid sorting at the household level, which he believes is a key to effective waste management.
Let us sort waste from the source. If we have sorted the waste from the source, from the main source, it is easy to manage. You can do a lot of products just out of waste.
Through his continued work with the young people, he is making a meaningful impact on waste management practices and environmental sustainability in Uganda. Kenneth Chitandwe, reporting for UBC News.
Sports news now, and Uganda's Gazelles hit a setback in their 2025 FIBA Women's Afro Basket qualification campaign after a heart-breaking 62-65 loss to hosts Egypt. In a thrilling game played at Hassan Mustafa Sports Hall, the Gazelles started on a back foot but managed to challenge the hosts to a neck-to-neck battle from the second quarter all the way to the fourth, with the hosts only taking the lead in the dying seconds of the game. Paige Robinson was impressive with 24 points, followed by the captain Jane Asinde, 18 points, and Hope Akello, 11 points. The other players were in single-digit points. Although the loss puts a dent in Uganda's hopes for qualification, as only one sport is up for grabs for a ticket to the finals in Ivory Coast, Uganda still has a chance to impress against South Sudan and Burundi, and will hope that Egypt falters in one of its games. Now Uganda returns to the court tomorrow, Wednesday, against South Sudan. Heart-wrenching indeed, that very slight loss there, but of course kudos to the girls there. They managed to do what they were sent to do in that area. And with that story, we've come to the end of the second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 4th day of February 2025. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
On Thursday, 6th February 2025, Greater Masaka region will host the 44th Tarehe Sita anniversary celebrations. Tarehe Sita commemorates the launch of the National Resistance Army's liberation struggle on 6th February 1981. The annual event is organized by the government and the Uganda People's Defense Forces UPDF. It aims to honor the spirit of community partnership and Pan-African solidarity. The anniversary will be celebrated under the theme Celebrating Pan-African Solidarity and the People's Sacrifice in Struggle for Freedom and Democracy for Socio-Economic Transformation. Join us on UBC TV Thursday 6th February as we relay the celebrations in real time.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Thank you. So I represent a show for Rotary that is called the Rotary Moment Show, and we showcase what Rotary is to also stop the misconceptions about Rotary. It has helped us a lot for people to understand who we are in Rotary, how we serve, the different services that we have done. So what we're going to do right now is to record a brief 2-minute interview for you to give us highlights on, first of all, the conference theme is Keeping Hope Alive, but also the theme of the year is Creating Hope. And there's a lot of sameness between that and what the Buganda Kingdom believes in. I'd like you to give a little highlight on those two seamless themes.
Well, like I said in the opening moments of the conference, I'm an eternal optimist. I never believe that difficulties or challenges are going to wear us out. I always believe that tomorrow will be better than today.
Indeed.
And I think I've developed that belief over time. Over the years, I've realized that whoever achieves anything must be prepared to surmount the difficulties along the way. I don't know any single individual who has succeeded in life when they haven't rolled up their sleeves, when they haven't